Alright guys, when you start this project, you should have 5 coloring pencils, and it's okay if you personally don't have 5 of them, but as long as there are 5 available in your row so that you can have one color for each finger. And you should have a blue or a black pen or a pencil. Sometimes pencils, when you color over them, they kind of smear. I would recommend a pen, but it's okay. I guess you can have red too, but probably your keyboard as well, as you're going to be filling out the keys, and even up here on the top row you're going to be filling out the symbols there too. So hopefully you can get this first part going, and go ahead and pause the video until you have this filled out with the keys on the keyboard. Okay, your completed keyboard sheet should look something like this. Now, note that I can't draw that and sign perfectly. As long as that's what you know it is, that's fine. And same thing, like I can't draw the Windows keys very well, or the menu key, so I just wrote menu. I could have just wrote menu or Windows on the Windows keys, but the bottom should say Control, Window, Alt, space, Alt, Menu, Window, Control. Okay, so now you're going to take your pen and underline the name of this keyboard. So this keyboarding method, and the name of this keyboard is called the QWERTY keyboard, and it spells itself out on the keyboard, Q-W-E-R-T-Y. So just take your pen and underline it like I'm going to do here. Okay, so there actually was another type of keyboard before the QWERTY keyboard. It was called the Dvorak keyboard. It wasn't much different than this, but it was created by a guy named John Dvorak. And back in the day when computers first started, people could type so fast that the computers were locking up. And now keep in mind that the computers used to process a lot slower than they do now. Like my dad remembers when he went to KU, he would go downstairs to the basement of like Strong Hall to work on the computer because it was that large. Like it pretty much took up the basement. If you've ever seen the movie Numbers, those things are kind of like old computers. So, so then the guy, so they just kind of switched around some letters and made the QWERTY keyboard. And from then on, it's not that it's better or worse, it's just that they were better at marketing their keyboard, and they got it on typewriters, and they got the QWERTY keyboard on keyboards that would go with computers, and that's just what most people know. You can still to this day buy a Dvorak keyboard and program your computer to accept that that's the kind of keyboard that you have in. But we're going to go with the QWERTY method. So that's the name of the keyboard. So we're going to grab one color, and you don't have to choose the same color as me. I'm just going to choose red here, and we're going to go down to the left and right pinky box and color that in like so. And then we're going to find the left and right pinky home row keys and put a box around them. We're not going to color those in. I put a box around A like so, and put a box around colon, semicolon. Remember that when that's where your fingers should rest. So your fingers, when you type using this keyboard method, should act like boomerangs. So the difference between a boomerang and a frisbee is that when you throw a frisbee, it stays there. A boomerang always comes back. So if my pinky leaves this key to go strike the P, it's going to come back. That's where it's always going to rest. Sorry, these are a little, it's always going to rest there. So it goes up to strike the P and comes back. Okay, now we're going to color all of our left-right pinky keys. Guys, if you ever make a mistake, well, first of all, be like cautious as you're drawing this, but if you do make a mistake, there are extra copies of this. Okay, so this is everything you should strike with your pinkies. No wonder they're so small, right? Because they get a lot of work when they're typing. And we've kind of talked about this in class a little bit. The reason that there is a shift key on both sides of the keyboard, here, I'm going to put my hand on this keyboard so I can fit them better there. Okay, the reason that there are 2 shift keys is because if I'm trying to capitalize something on this hand, here, sorry, how can I hold that? And you get it. If I'm trying to capitalize the J, I'm gonna strike the shift key with my left hand and strike the J with my right. Same thing, if I'm trying to capitalize the A here, I'm gonna strike the shift key with my right pinky and then strike A with my left. Now, one thing I see a lot of people trying to do is like hit the 2 keys at the same time. If I just press down and hold on shift, nothing bad happens. Now, if I continue to press on shift, it turns on sticky keys and something bad does happen. But if I just press and hold on shift or control or alt, nothing bad happens. So you can do that. And so you don't have to worry about striking those keys at the exact same time. So again, here is my right and left pinky color sheet. Now I'm going to grab another color, and this time I'm going to choose brown, or maybe I'm going to choose green. And that's going to be my right, left ring finger. So I'm just going to take the little ring finger and color in that box. Okay. And then I'm going to put a box around S here. And K, or sorry, and L, my bad. S and L are my home row keys for my right and left ring fingers. And then they don't strike as many keys. I'm going to go over here. It's going to come down to strike the X, up to strike the W, all the way up to strike the 2 and the at. Over here on the right, it's gonna leave L to go strike the O, all the way up to strike the 9, down to strike the greater than period key, and supposedly this menu key, although I'm not sure if I've ever struck the menu key with my ring finger, but technically you should. I don't know if I've ever really push the menu key. Okay, so now we are going to grab another color. I'm going to choose my brown and color in my left and right middle finger box. Okay, I'm going to put a box around D, so my left hand middle finger, that's my home row key for D. And we're going to go over here, and I have a left home row key, or right home row key for my middle finger on the right is K, and it's my middle finger over here is going to leave to go down and strike the less than comma, and the alt key, go up and strike the I, all the way up to strike the 8 and the asterisk. Up over here, it's going to leave the left middle finger is going to leave D to go down and strike the C. Over here to strike the E, and all the way up here, strike the number 3. Okay. My next one is my left and right pointer fingers, and I'm going to choose yellow for that. I'm just going to color in the box there, left and right pointer. Okay, now these fingers get a lot of action. The home row keys here for the left hand is F for my pointer and J for my right pointer. Okay, and then I can just lightly color in all these. And the reason that line is there is that's just the divider between the left and the right hands. Sometimes that gets confusing. I see you guys like Trying to strike the G with the right hand. It's a big stretch for it. Sorry. My daughter's working. I'm sure you can also hear my son practicing drums.
He's not doing anything anymore.
Okay. And the last key that we have is the space bar, and the space bar is big for the same reason that we have multiple shift keys. It's just whatever feels comfortable to us. So if I finish striking or finish typing something and I've hit the H, typically I'm going to, I don't know, you might want to alter your thumbs as to when you hit. So it's just whatever, sorry, it's whatever comfortable to you. So both thumbs there rest on the keyboard. So down here where it says right and left thumb, you're going to color that box in and then go to your space bar and just color it in. And there really is no rhyme or reason as to when you strike it with your left pinky or thumb and when you strike it with your right thumb. It's just whichever one you do. So the ending product here should look like this. Congratulations, you are done with your keyboard fill out. Make sure that, see how I'm a good student and I have allowed Mrs. Cruz to give me credit for completing this keyboard sheet fill out because I put my name on it. Otherwise, Ms. Cruz has no idea who to assign a grade to and my hour because there's a lot of repeated names. All right, guys, hopefully you had a great Friday and are enjoying some typing and some keyboarding. You can use this to practice at home. So once I return this to you, you could take this home with you, or you could use it in class if you don't want to use one of those sheets that I have. All right, have a great day.